Call in, connect. To speak to Randi, call 561-270-3844. 561-270-3844.
Pledge drive. Okay, everybody, pledge drive. Do I need to say more? Because, I will. You want to make me do it, I'll do it. So this is the second week, the last week, the final week of the Winter Free Speech TV Pledge Drive. This, of course, is independent media. We survive based on you and your kindness and your desire to keep independent media alive and kicking and well and able to survive another Trump administration, which I cannot believe I even have to say out loud. It's just so sad. So call now, 877-378-8669, and make your pledge that way. Or you can, of course, reach out to 44321 on your phone and type in the letters FSTV, and we will send you a nice secure link by which you can make a donation, or visit us online at freespeech.org/donate if you want to jump right to the donate page and don't want to navigate. But you really don't have to, because it'll pop up. It will, because we're a not-for-profit organization, and there are 16 people over there that work very hard in Denver to make sure the programs you love, Stephanie and Tom and all the rest, okay, Amy, everybody, shows up on your preferred way to watch. Whether you stream us, whether you do it on DirecTV, channel 348, whether you do it on Dish Network, 9415, whether you do it on Apple, Sling, Roku, any way that you like it, it's there for you to take free of charge. And all we do is have quarterly fundraisers, and we abbreviate them. We only do them for 2 weeks. So please do dial 877-378-8669, and thank you very much for your support. Okay, here are the numbers on Bashar al-Assad's, crime wave. Here are the numbers on the. First of all, I don't know if you Bashar al-Assad, occupation, eye doctor. Swear to God, reminds me of Rand Paul. Don't ask me why, but eye doctors seem to have a very vicious streak. I don't know. They turn against their own neighbors in some cases, and in other cases, their own children. Just interesting. But yes, he was an eye doctor. His father, however, was also a dictator. It was a family business, is what it is. His father, Hafez al-Assad, he was a dictator for, I'm going to say, 24 years, something like that. And then his son took over and made it last another, 53 years is the total. So I'm sure my math sucked just there. But it's 53 years of one family ruling over the Syrians, okay? Ruling over a place called Persia, ruling over them in the most autocratic, dictatorial manner and fashion, where there were priorities for Shia Muslims, which were Alawites. Bashar al-Assad and his father were Alawites, and so they got preferential. I would hate to be a Shia Muslim now. I would hate to be them in Syria right now, because people are furious. There was oppression of Sunni Muslims. There was oppression of Christians. There was all kinds of, no protest allowed, obviously. That turned into a civil war when people were, just simply demanding dignity and freedom to worship as they would like to in their. And, it's like here, there's this weird version of Catholicism. It's a very narrow thing. It's kind of like that over there. Where there's a narrow view of what kind of Islam is good Islam and what kind of Islam is not good Islam. It's the same thing here with what kind of Christianity is good Christianity, what kind of Christianity is bad Christianity. And, forget the Jews. It's just everywhere. Just forget them. Do you know? I mean, it was just a hellhole. So in the 11 years of this civil war it's 13 years of this civil war that raged in Syria, 307,000 people were killed. Now, the whole population of Syria is about 22 million, just so you could put this in context, okay? 22 million total. 307,000 are dead in 13 years. I went all over to find all these numbers from different, about different portions of this brutality. So 307,000 dead. 112,000 just disappeared. Don't know what happened to them. 12 million people were displaced. Total people, 22 million. 12 million. That's more than half of the people in the country were displaced, meaning they couldn't live in their town. They couldn't live in their home. They couldn't live in their neighborhood. They couldn't live, some of them couldn't live in Syria. Okay. So you had 12 million, more than half of the population displaced. Okay. And randomly, people that were in disagreement with the dictator, the autocrat, the head honcho, the big cheese, okay, the top one, the big dog. Random arrests and detentions, and we don't know how many of them, but when they broke into some of these prisons over the weekend, you saw little children in those prisons. Little children. And the way that some of there's this one prison there that's been called the Syrian slaughterhouse. Sounds great, right? Apparently, Bashar al-Assad had a very particular way that he liked to torture people. Randomly picked up off the street and then thrown into the slaughterhouse or thrown into one of his dank prisons. He liked to keep his prisoners in complete dark, in the darkness, underground. It's a very Hamas-y thing. And when you look at like what was bombed and you look at the technique and the tactics used in Aleppo, especially, which is just raised. I mean, it was gone. I mean, it was so Russian. It was hard to deny, that Putin was calling the shots there because it was hospitals, it was schools, it was civilians, it was, it was all the civilian things that make a place livable being bombed to smithereens, and it just reeked of Russia, reeked of Putin. And of course, Bashar al-Assad, he disappeared. Everybody said, where'd he go? He went to Russia. He's been given cover and sanctuary by Vladimir Putin for allowing him to, be a murderous dictator and, in cahoots with each other. So disgusting how... and they do have the commonality between the thought processes here, between the axis of evil, if you will. I mean, I know I hate that expression too, but there was an axis that was operating there. It was Iran, it was Iranian proxies, Hezbollah, Hamas, and the Houthis in Yemen. It was Russia. That's the unholy alliance, okay? And when it seemed like there was no more proxy stuff and Iran had nothing left to give and Russia took all of its equipment and had to put it in Ukraine, and then the military just gave up because the military saw firsthand there was no equipment there. There was nothing. They gave up. They abandoned their post. They surrendered, blah, blah, blah. And then they started to liberate the prisons, and you saw the little children in there. They do it because, and I swear to God, you think that we invented this here. No, they did it because cruelty is the point. Cruelty is what strikes fear into the heart of ordinary citizens. Cruelty is what makes people hopeless and give up all hope. It's like hell. It's creating hell. Abandon hope, all ye who enter here. Don't have time to listen to the live show? Want to hear more on your schedule? Go to RandiRhodes.com and buy a stinking podcast.